For the past 2 years, Carson Junior High has been intensely involved in improving our assessment practices here at Carson Junior High and trying to develop a better understanding of how assessment impacts student learning. A couple of the things that we've done over the past few years here is that we have been able to have the Alberta Assessment Consortium here working in the school with teacher groups, being in their classroom, observing what they do, and then going back and coaching them in their work. Also, the administration, Mr. Toon and myself have been involved in a coaching situation with the Alberta Assessment Consortium. They've sent a facilitator here to work with us so that we can go into classrooms and look at effective assessment practices and be able to discuss those with teachers. Also, our teachers have been able to be involved in several other experiences related to improving their professional growth in assessment. They work closely with their divisional PLCs in developing assessment strategies and developing particular assessments to be used in the classroom to help identify the learning needs of their students. They also have had the opportunity to attend, a number of them, to attend the fall conference of the Alberta Assessment Consortium and to listen to keynote speakers as well as small workshops around, again, developing those skills of good assessment. They've also been involved in professional development days that the West Wind School Division has provided. These have included individuals such as Ann Davies, who is an expert in the area of assessment and helping develop assessment skills that are used in the classroom. Most recently, Carson Junior High had the opportunity to bring Damian Cooper into our building. And Damian Cooper is a consultant who works with schools to help develop those assessment skills, but also take everyday classroom assessments and how we turn those into grading and reporting. So those are the things that we have done to help develop our skills around assessment strategies in the building. Real quickly, just to kind of define assessment and what that is, good assessment will help drive student learning, and it also helps drive teacher planning. So good assessment will help students understand that they're mastering a skill, and good assessment will then also drive good instruction. Assessment is important because it occurs during, before, and even after learning has taken place, and we all do that. We all look at situations we're involved in. What do I know? When we're in it, we're assessing all the way, and then at the very end, we might all look back and say, oh, I could have done this different, or I did that really well. So we're all involved in assessment every day. And, we talk about a test. A test is only part of assessment. It's not the incomplete assessment. And there are 3 areas that we have focused on in our classroom. The first of those 3 is assessment for learning. Assessment for learning takes place before, during, and after learning has taken place. Again, this is about what we all do in our lives. We gather information, we assess where we're at with that information, and then we take it and we say, how can I improve on it? And so in a classroom, it might look like this. I've taught the lesson as a teacher. At the end of the day, I give what we call an exit slip. And so the kids will write down what they have learned. As a teacher, I quickly look at those exit slips. I analyze where my kids are at, where they've got it, maybe where they're missing that. And then I will redesign or add into my lesson tomorrow information that will help them be better at that skill, so I know that they're reaching a level of mastery. And there's lots of strategies that we would use to look at assessment for learning, and some of them are directed by students, some directed by teachers, and some directed by both. The third area, or the second area that we look at, is assessment as learning, and that is self-direction. And so as students develop skills and better understand their own learning, they are able to self-direct. Where do I need to improve? What's my writing look like today compared to what will it look like tomorrow? And so that assessment as learning is very self-directed by students, and it allows for reflection and for growth. And so again, we all do that in our lives. Every day when I deal with a situation, I reflect on what I could do different, what I could do better, what I personally need to improve on to make our school better. And the third area is assessment of learning. And this one is when it's a summative of everything we've done. And it could be done in this manner. And in assessment, it's referred to as triangulation of information. And so as a teacher and as a student, it might be that I've had conversation with you about learning or what I've learned. It might be that we did a project or a written assignment about something, and then it might be that there is a test on the information. And so all of that's gathered together in a summative format, and it tells me at a point and a time what you know. And that's the important part there. Learning is continuous, and as we've looked at assessment, we know that it's continuous throughout a child's life. But there are points that are important that would be summative, which is assessment of learning. So with all of the information that we've been able to get about good assessment practices, Carson Junior High now is looking at how do we develop a good report card that reflects what we feel good assessment is. And as we make these changes, we have appreciated parents' support and parental input. And as you know, report cards this year have been a little bit different than they have in the past. And we are working to, and our goal is to streamline those report cards a little bit to better reflect what we are doing at Carson Junior High. The report cards might include the following. One is key outcomes. What is it that my student is supposed to know? Our teachers have worked closely in their professional learning communities to develop what we would call these key outcomes. And what that does is it looks at the curriculum in Alberta and says, here are the most important things that students in any grade should know. And so those key outcomes would be on there. It also might contain anecdotal comments from teachers about where your student's at on grade level, what areas they need to improve in, and then also some work on attitudes and behaviors. And so what are the attitudes and behaviors of my student towards learning and in school? So as we work to develop these report cards, we will continue to look at stakeholders and to look at what we need to do. Our goal, again, is to improve our report card, and for next year, have a final report card that would come out, finalize what our report card will look like, and be able to send that report card out at our first reporting period next year. We've looked at lots of report cards around the province as teachers and as administration has visited other schools. We often collect and ask for their report card. We've also involved our technology people here from Westwind to help us in developing that report card. We're working also with other schools in the division, and especially with Mountain View School, who's been involved with us several times in conversations about report cards, so that those will not just be a Carson Junior High report card, but other schools in the division may use them as well. And so that's our goal with the report card. Again, keeping in mind that the decisions we are making we're trying to be student-centered, and what's best for students, what's best for students to understand their own learning, and to be able to also take an active role in their learning and the decisions that are made about them here at Carson Junior High. Thank you for listening to me tonight, and if you have any questions or comments, we will stick around and answer those or answer them as we go. Thank you very much, and have a good night.